Hello, Munchers. Today I want to talk about my teenage years, specifically dealing with depression and the onslaught of serious depression. Everyone knows it's tough to be a teenager. That's universal. I really didn't understand what kind of depression I was dealing with at the time. Now I know that it's situational and manic depression that I was dealing with and that I continue to deal with, of course. All I knew was made me feel like shit. All the anxiety, fear, hate, sadness, and rage. I had suffered through an entire childhood of bullying, which in turn led to serious trust issues. I built a wall of mistrust around me to protect myself from attack. My mother and grandparents did not know how to help me or didn't care to really ask the right questions, unfortunately. They also made the problem worse by continuing to verbally and physically abuse me at home. The depression really started getting worse when I entered my junior year in high school. Ironically, in 1993-94, when grunge music from Seattle hit the entire country by storm. Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam. There's also Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, and Radiohead. I was still a jock in high school, but that culture started changing my style of clothes from wearing starter sports jackets to grungy flannels and hipster grunge retro clothing that you would find at thrift stores. Of course, Nirvana's music and Radiohead's music really struck the right tone, addressing all the teenage angst that I myself and others, my friends, were dealing with at the time. Their musical lyrics dealt with and addressed depression, anxiety, and drug use. Around this time in high school, which was relatively easy for me academically, I started to rebel against my parents at home a lot more. I was sneaking out at night to go and hang out with my friends and get into some local mischief. I also started working jobs after school so I could afford my own car and money for doing cool shit like playing pool, going to movies, going to the mall, and doing typical teenage stuff. I was caught by the police for trying to get an adult to buy us beer at the local 7-Eleven. I also did a lot of dumb shit and was lucky enough, along with my friends, not to get into too much trouble. There's a lot going on in my head at the time, and unfortunately I didn't have any professionals, therapists, qualified therapists, that is, to help me figure it out. So I acted out, I misbehaved, and introduced a little good old-fashioned chaos into the world as a result of all the turmoil and teenage angst I was going through at the time. Luckily for me, I did enough academically and athletically to get myself accepted into Virginia Tech, which I will discuss in my next video. Until next time, thanks for listening, and thanks for being a friend.